Welcome to Mom Talk, the talk show for mom. I'm Genevieve Califave, and I will be your host today. Today we're talking about body positivity for mom, and as a guest I have Cathy Cena and Jenn Fountain. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks.
Hi.
Nice
Welcome to Mom Talk. It's awesome to have you with me. So, Cathy, you are the author of 50 and Curvy with a Sprinkles of Fabulous.
Yes.
And Jenn, you're a well-known photographer, and last year you offered the beautiful 40 over 40. I know a lot of people that done it, and they had an amazing experience. And this year you are offering this beautiful boudoir package with those amazing wings, right? So I thought both of you guys are touching women, moms, body positivities, because we know when we have a baby, and then often we don't take care of ourselves as much as before. And now what do we do now? Like, we want to get back into feeling good, and I think it's important that we stop and we take the time to talk about it, because it is possible to still feel good in our skins, right? So let's start with Cathy. What's your vision on body positivity?
Well, I'll tell you what my vision was not. Because I read, when I wrote the book, I wasn't feeling great about me. And I was struggling up and down with weight and being at my heaviest and being at my skinniest. And I was just really done with like the scale. And I thought, maybe I need to express myself in a book and, and basically just sort of put my thoughts down in writing. And maybe other women were feeling this way too. So I thought, 50, I had turned 50 last year, Jen. I like to be fabulous, and why not add some sprinkle to it, right? So body positivity is so important, and what the book conveys is, all women in all shapes and sizes and ages, can feel amazing in the body that they're in. And hence, that's why I've worked with actually Jenn herself in the 40 over 40 project, and also in the Become an Angel for a Day body positivity campaign. And, so because I'm a really big believer of this, because you're right, there's so many women out there that don't feel good about who they are on the outside or the inside. Yes. So if I can make a difference in one person's life, one woman that reads this, then I've done my job. It was never really about getting published or doing this or that. It was just, a fun project for me. I always like to have projects, so I thought, why not? And it looks fabulous that you took that photo of me.
I was just gonna say, that's why I'm holding it like that, because Jenn took this amazing picture of you. And I want to know, Jenn, what is your vision when you're doing this? I mean, look at Cathy on that picture.
It looks so amazing.
Out of this world, right? So tell us your vision on this and how this transpires through your photography.
Yeah, so I guess body positivity to me is really just acknowledging and celebrating all body types, whatever your age is, shape, size, ethnicity, race, whatever it is. It's just really celebrating wherever you're at in your journey, and kind of reframing our thoughts around what society has told us is beautiful, because a lot of the time we grow up thinking, we grow up with our parents telling us things, or friends or other people in our environment telling us, this is what beauty is, or you aren't beautiful because of this. And then you grow up thinking with all of these thoughts around why you're beautiful or why you're not beautiful. And I think it is our job to kind of stop and question that and think about, why do I have these thoughts about myself, or why do I have these thoughts about other people, and how can I change that narrative in my head to a more positive one?
And I think we're all guilty of comparing ourselves with, there's social media, there's like our friends, like she's skinnier or whatever, wherever we're at, and we all do it. Like, if people says, I'm not doing it anymore, I think it's a lie. Yeah. And that, I think the era of social media did not help at all. I think it bring a little bit more anxiety around that even with us and with younger adult, I would say, for sure. So what's the impact of poor body vision of herself? Cathy.
I think the impact is that, especially as moms, like, what are we emitting to our children, for example? Like, how is, little Mary gonna feel? Because mom is always on that scale every day, and maybe I'm like freaking out and working out 3 hours a day. Like, that is obviously going to go onto my child. And what they see, monkey see, monkey do, right? Then they're not gonna wanna eat a full plate of food, for example, or they're gonna, push things away because they're gonna have a body image of themselves that's sort of being passed on by their mom, where the mom may not even know this. You know, I think social media has done a terrible thing in society in showing us what, you know, the Kardashians look like, or this person or that person, you know, but at the same time, I also feel that it's not a, you know, the realities of filters. You know, I use a filter. I'll be very honest. I like the way I look in a filter. And if I want to have that,
do a little bit here and there.
If I want to have that fantasy, that's my fantasy. But then it's okay, because when I look at the real, authentic Cathy, like, I'm fine. I'm not scaring myself. Like, it's okay. And I like to say it's okay to be perfectly imperfect, Jen. That is my mantra, my 2 words for 2023.
What do you think about?
Yeah, I think with a negative view around your body, it's going to affect your self-esteem and your confidence, and that really affects every single area of your entire life, whether that is your relationship with your partner, your relationship with yourself. And for me, what Cathy was saying was a huge motivator to change how I view and feel about myself was for my daughter, because I want her to grow up in an environment where there is healthy tools getting used and, you know, a healthy dialogue around your body. And it doesn't mean it has to be all rainbows and butterflies all the time, because that's just not the reality. There's so many people who struggle with body image. It's obviously a huge thing, which is why we have this positivity movement happening now. So I think it's important to acknowledge kind of we don't have to be expected to love ourselves fully, but there's these tools that can help you get to a better place that you're just happier with who you are. Mm-hmm.
So, ladies, I'd like you guys to talk about, is there any ways that, or things we could do to improve our body image?
All right. I love affirmations. That is my favorite thing. And mirror work, paired with affirmations and mirror work, that has been like a huge game changer for me for how I view my body. It can be extremely uncomfortable and scary at first, and it's just very awkward looking at yourself in the mirror. But it gets better the more you do it, and just saying these things and looking at yourself fully, and just, you know, especially noticing the thoughts that come into your head when you are staring at the mirror and looking at yourself, because a lot of these thoughts are actually subconscious. You're not actually aware of these things, but when you're pausing and taking time to actually think about what's going through your head, and then you have the power to be able to change that and reframe that, and then reframe them into positive affirmations that can help you feel better about yourself. And obviously a photo shoot experience that has been a huge game changer for me, obviously for my clients as well. I went through my own self-love journey, and I used to, you know, hate the way I looked. I just hated who I was as a person, and it came to a point where I just wanted to be happy. I wanted to live a full and happy life, and my daughter was a huge motivator for that. And I just committed to myself, I'm going to change the way I think about myself. And it took, I would probably say, about 4 or 5 years. But I celebrated that journey with a photo shoot just for myself. And it was such a powerful experience. And if you've been to my studio, Cathy has seen, I've printed a huge portrait of myself up really big. And obviously it's in my studio, but it really
I thought
is
that
just
was just
for
you
me.
bragging about yourself. It is. It's ginormous. It's life size.
It is life
I'm
size.
like, wow, you
It
really
is,
love
yes.
yourself. You really love yourself.
I do.
She's celebrating.
Yes, I'm celebrating.
Yes, she is.
It is a reminder every single time I walk into my studio that I can do hard things, that if I put my mind to something, I can accomplish it, that, you know, I am powerful and I'm strong and I am beautiful, and I just love it. And that's the work that I get to do with my clients too, is just help them, show them how beautiful they really are, and it's just like so rewarding. Yeah.
Awesome. So, ladies, when body positivity become toxic? Do you want to start, Cathy?
Yeah, gosh. Oh my goodness, you can go down the rabbit hole with this toxicity, especially, you know, these last few years I've been embracing a lot of things that include having really good, strong girlfriends and mentors, as I would call them. And, you know, I also realize that, like, what I see in myself, another human does not. And so I try not to look at the toxic sort of part of it. I mean, there's a lot of campaigns going on right now with really big brands that are doing amazing things, as you know. But one of the things, you know, I look at both of my children and they're very different. They're adults. I don't have littles at home. But one thing that my son sort of taught me a long time ago was to look in the mirror and to tell the mirror that you are the best and everyone is watching you. You know, and that's what he then told his class of students that are all young ladies. Okay, so back to the toxicity is like, yes, it's going to be there every day. Do I have the best day every time I grow up? No, but I'm grateful. I write down my gratitudes in the morning, and I meditate. Like, why am I feeling this way about myself? What is going on, internally with me? Maybe I had a fight with my husband. Maybe I'm angry about something at work. Why am I turning that into something for myself? Because I'll tell you, the things we tell ourselves, we would never tell another person. Like, why do I have to tell myself, like, oh, your hair isn't great today? I wouldn't tell you that if your hair was, right? So again, having that internal talk with yourself and changing the dialogue, but it takes time. And there's a shift in your brain that you really need to make to truly love yourself. And I think that your campaign talks about self-love a lot. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that I'm going into 23 with, is like just embracing yourself and loving loving who you are. Yeah.
And Jenn?
Yeah, I guess it can become toxic in a way that, because there's a lot of people on social media, they're saying, I love myself, I'm, great at it now. And I think that it can become a false thing that, how come all of these people are just so happy all the time? And it's kind of silencing people who have a voice that want to say that I'm not happy all the time, I don't love myself all the time. Mm-hmm. But I think there's actually so much more power in those stories than just going out there and saying, I am amazing and I am great and I love myself, which is also really great. But it's so good to hear from other people's experiences of where they came from, that they didn't love themselves and they've done this to be able to change that, or that they're healing, or that they're doing their transformation, they're on their journey. And I think that is a lot more inspiring, because those are the stories that gave me the hope and the inspiration to change for myself. And I think those voices are really needed.
So it's okay not to be okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. Cathy, if someone wants to buy your book, where can they find your book?
At Cathy-Cena.com.
And Jenn, where can we find you?
You can find me on social media at Jenn Fountain Photography and fontainphotography.ca.
Well, one more time, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Jenn.
Awesome. To contact us or to view all our available episodes, you can go to mom-talk.ca. Of course, we are on YouTube at momtalk and also on Tri-Cities Community Television. If you are an expert, don't hesitate to contact us. We want to hear from you. Momtalk would like to say thank you to Tri-Cities Community Television, Optic TV, and our community sponsor, La Société Francophone de Maillardville. If you know a mom that would benefit from this episode, we're inviting you to share this episode with her. Always remember, it's important to laugh, keep learning, cherish your village, and be true to yourself. I'm Genevieve Kyle-Lefebvre, and thank you for joining us. Bye.
Visit us at mom-talk.ca to access our podcast library and stay up to date with our latest content. Follow us on social media for more tips, hacks, and inspiration. Thank you for joining us on this exciting journey of motherhood.